Sri Lanka is facing the worst economic crisis in its history. Inflation is high, there is shortage of basic essentials, and the government is running out of foreign reserves. Sri Lanka is not a big economy like India, so the GDP is not in trillions. The size of the Sri Lankan economy is a modest $84 billion. Even though the economy has grown from $42 billion in 2009 to near $88 billion in 2018, the growth rate of GDP has been on a decline ever since 2011. This graph shows that the Sri Lankan economy has begun to shrink after 2019. This period coincides with the pandemic and poor policy decisions. There were two major setbacks for Sri Lanka. First, the country's earnings from tourism crashed. Tourism suffered due to the Easter bombings of 2019 in Colombo, which killed 253 people, and the outbreak of COVID-19. The second setback was the decline in workers' remittances, the money Sri Lankans living abroad sent to their families back home. President Rajapaksa's government made the economic situation worse with poor policy decisions. In December 2019, the government cut VAT rates from 15% to 8%. This led to a fall in indirect tax revenue. Sri Lanka's debt incurred from foreign loans, sovereign bonds, and infrastructure projects has risen phenomenally over the years, putting pressure on the economy. Sri Lanka must repay about $4 billion worth of debt this year, but the country's foreign reserves are too low. Sri Lanka's foreign reserves have been low for months now, with an uptick in December after a currency swap worth $1.5 billion with China. But it has dipped to $2.31 billion as of end February. Amid depleting foreign reserves, the government in mid-2020 imposed a broad import ban, including on chemical fertilizers, which had a direct impact on food production. The impact ban triggered a supply crunch. Now, with very little foreign reserves to pay for imports, there is a shortage of rice, milk, kerosene, cooking gas, electricity, medicines, paper, and ink. The supply crunch has added to the inflationary pressure in the Sri Lankan economy. Sri Lanka's annual inflation surged to 15.1% in February this year. This is the highest since November 2008 and the third consecutive double-digit growth in consumer prices. Food inflation touched a record 25% in February, which has added to the burden of the common man in the island nation. The currency has also taken a hit. After the International Monetary Fund urged Sri Lanka to devalue its currency and raise taxes, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka depreciated its currency by 15% in early March. Sri Lanka has so far sought the help of India, China, and the IMF to overcome the crisis. India has offered $1 billion line of credit to import food, essential commodities, and medicines. Sri Lanka has sought another $1 billion line of credit from India to import essentials. China is mulling a $1 billion loan and a credit line of $1.5 billion.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today NewsMo.